Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. $6 billion earmarked for cleaning of Sandy Gully. Government hoping for amicable resolution over payment issues to local subcontractors on Southern Coastal Highway project. And later in sports, West Indies faces New Zealand in crucial T20 World Cup matchup. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shane Masters, and here are the details. Some $6 billion has been allocated to clean the Sandy Gully in the corporate area. Chief Executive Officer of the National Works Agency, E.G. Hunter, made the announcement at this morning's post-cabinet press briefing. The cleaning comes as it's been reported that the 2024 hurricane season is expected to be a very active one.
Recently signed off on, I think, how much was it? I think we're going to be spending about $6 million to undertake some cleaning ourselves. Now, and that will be in the vicinity of the two bridges. There's a bridge on Spanish Town Road over the Gully, and there's a bridge on Washington Boulevard over the Gully. Now, we have a special interest in preserving the bridges because to the extent that there is an accumulation of debris within the vicinity of the bridges, whenever the gullies are in spate, it does pose an extraordinary challenge. So we are going to be cleaning the gully to that extent. But again, the total cost to clean the Sandy Gully in the manner that we like to be able to clean it is a tremendously high figure.
Mr. Hunter further noted that efforts were made to have a public tender for the cleaning of the major gully in the corporate area, but that fell through.
We went to tender to have public interest for someone to spend their money to take out the material and use the material because there is some value to the material as fill. So in the last 4 years, we did try on 2 occasions to see if we could get some public interest in undertaking that. Regrettably, we didn't get no one bit.
Now he says work on the Sandy Gully is slated to begin this week. Minister without portfolio with responsibility for works, Robert Morgan, says he's hopeful that the issues between local subcontractors and China Harbour Engineering Company CHEC will be ironed out soon. The group of 10 local subcontractors employed to the Southern Coastal Highway project say they are owed almost $2 billion arising from unsettled claims under the contract with China Harbour Engineering Company CHEC. The contractors say their pleas have been ignored for nearly 2 years by the National Works Agency, NWA, and the government. At Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing, Minister Morgan says he has met some of the local subcontractors and representatives from CHEC.
Can say, and I can't speak too much about it because it's a matter between parties who are governed by a contract, is that significant efforts are being made by the parties concerned to resolve their issues amicably to ensure that the matter doesn't continue into perpetuity. And as the government, I have to be very cautious in how I intervene in contracts between parties. In any attempt to resolve the issue, but we're making efforts to bring them together.
The Jamaica Public Service is bemoaning a myriad of motor vehicle crashes in the island, which has been fueling power outages. The company says between January to April 2024, there have been 70 outages linked to crashes. Speaking during a maintenance blitz in Portland today, Senior Vice President for Energy Delivery, Blaine Jarrett, stressed that the network is being impacted almost daily.
We want to see a slowdown of that sort of trend, and the trend is increasing. We're really appealing to motorists to be a little more prudent and cautious in utilizing the roadway.
That appeal comes as the JPS works to reduce the frequency of power cuts across the island. Mr. Jarrett told journalists that 12 of its network circuits have been linked to 40% of power outages in the island.
So we actually start this initiative, right, alongside our routine capital programs and maintenance programs since the start of the year. And we have so far seen a 23% improvement in the performance of these dealers and the overall performance when compared to last year this time.
Mayor of Falmouth, Colin Gager, is sending a stern warning to vendors in the capital to get their house in order. He says while the town is being transformed into a tourist destination, there's been great misuse of the space by several business operators.
We have turned some of them into bedrooms. We have to remove them and have them down by roads and work as we speak now. We can't continue this way. We have to be serious and know what we want. We'll have to make life easier for the police who is working there, the firemen if something should happen, the municipal corporation. We have to make sure that everybody abide by the rules and regulations.
Mr. Gage said plans are underway to unveil the statue of legendary sprinter Usain Bolt and a fountain is being erected. He believes this will attract tourists and stressed the need for the environment to remain clean. In the meantime, the mayor is also issuing a warning to sex workers that they will not be allowed to do business in the town.
We have had the loss of 3 persons because of work associated with the illegal sex trade off Seaboard Street, and they have died. We cannot allow it to continue. We are working with the police, and this police is working with us. In fact, we had a meeting this morning, and the police will be working with us. We'll be having regular meetings to see that what is said is carried out and to make the place safe and secure.
6 goats suspected to have been stolen were recovered by the Manchester police this morning. Reports are that about 1:30, a Toyota Yaris motorcar was spotted along the Porus Main Road by the police. It was signaled to stop. As the police approached the vehicle, the lone occupant ran. Upon further inspection, 6 heads of goat were found in the car. The vehicle, it's understood, is registered to a rental company in Kingston. The Westmoreland police are searching for a lone gunman who shot 3 brothers, 2 fatally in Bath district. The incident happened about 10:30 last night. According to reports, the men were at home when they were pounced upon by the man who was armed with a handgun. Cyril Glaze, 31, and his 34-year-old brother Leon died on the spot. A third brother was admitted in hospital in serious but stable condition.
Son, he would have work with them father, go to them on the road, build bag juice and them something. You understand? Everybody was sad. I wonder what's wrong. You understand? What they behind this?
A man was shot and wounded in the Busy Market district in Brownstown, St. Anne this morning. It's reported that about 4:15, a barrage of shots were heard, sending scores of wholesalers scampering for cover. On the arrival of the police, a man was seen lying with bullet wounds in the street. He was taken to hospital. The police are investigating. Meanwhile, in Grand Spence and Thomas, 2 men were shot and injured in an early morning gun attack. Now, residents reported hearing loud explosions between 3 and 4 a.m. It was then discovered that the men, who are said to be cousins, had been shot. They are currently receiving treatment in hospital. The Alice police are investigating. And it's time for a break. Stay with us, more stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. The Press Association of Jamaica, PAJ, is this afternoon expressing alarm at the widespread threats and abuse against TVJ journalist Giovanni Dennis since his special report highlighting illegal drag racing in Jamaica. In a release last evening, the PAJ condemned the response to the story, which was first aired on Sunday, June 9. PAJ President Milton Walker says the association views the threats as an attack on press freedom. He says journalists and reporters must be allowed to do their work free from fear and intimidation from whatever source. The release further notes that the matter has been reported to the police and escalated to the cybercrimes unit of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. The Press Association has called on the police to do all in its power to investigate the threats and deal with the culprits involved. And it's now time for the Business Minute.
The government of Jamaica has signed a $20 million loan agreement with the World Bank to support a new project called Spyro, that is Jamaica Social Protection for Increased Resilience and Opportunities. This project will support the implementation of Jamaica's unemployment insurance program. At the signing ceremony yesterday, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark said the scheme will make
redundancy. That's an unfunded obligation, which means that at the time that firms are called upon to make those payments, we have found in our experience as a country that the firms may not be in a position to make the payments at that time. And so it's an imperfect system. Under unemployment insurance, it will allow Jamaicans who have lost their jobs due to no fault of theirs to, on a temporary basis, receive a stipend from the government.
Further afield, 4 more states have joined the U.S. government's landmark antitrust suit against Apple. According to a court filing Tuesday, Indiana, Massachusetts, Nevada, and Washington have joined the lawsuit. That brings the total number of non-federal plaintiffs to 19 states, plus the District of Columbia. The U.S. government and the states sued Apple in March. They accused the iPhone maker of illegally monopolizing the smartphone market. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Carrie Simpson.
And here's a preview of what's coming up in this evening's Health Report.
In this evening's Health Report, we look at e-cigarettes.
Because of the nicotine, which is highly addictive, and it is believed by many to be even more addictive than heroin and cocaine, you start to get this craving that I need to have it some more. And so there is this seeking behavior, and persons sometimes may get anxious, angry, depressed, irritable, until they get their fix.
That's the Health Report in Primetime News at 7. And now for today's Healthy Living tip. Choose a specific day to quit smoking and mark it on your calendar. Share your decision with friends and family and consider joining a support group. Engage in hobbies, read or take up a new skill to keep your hands and minds occupied. And get rid of smoking-related items. Avoid places where people smoke and avoid alcohol.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, Haiti's Transitional Council has announced the formation of a new government, replacing all the members of...
And we head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report.